Hello. Welcome back to another vlog. It is Monday. I'm just trying to find my knife. And it's currently about 12:30. I've had quite a busy morning, to be honest, just getting back into the swing of things work-wise. I've just been replying to emails, sort of planning out my week. And I've also been to Pilates, done a food shop, just really trying to set myself up well for this week, because I know I say this at the start of literally every vlog, but last week was so busy work-wise, and I just felt like my health and fitness and all of that stuff just went out the window. Whenever I get busy, it seems like workouts and eating healthy and all of that sort of stuff becomes my last priority, which isn't a good habit for me to get into, because then it has the knock-on effect of making me feel super sluggish and super tired. So it's not good for your productivity, even though it feels like you're saving time by not going to the gym and not going to a workout class and just getting quick, easy food out. So this week, even though it's still shaping up to be quite a busy week, I want to make sure that I'm still prioritizing those healthy habits. And one of the ways that I'm going to try and fit in more healthy eating and healthy habits into my week is meal prepping. I usually meal prep dinners, in the sense that I'll often cook multiple portions of something at the same time, so then I have it for 3 days or so at a time. But I don't tend to meal prep lunches, and if anything, that's the meal that I end up then getting out. So I'm meal prepping now a dense bean salad. I'm sure that's probably something that you guys have seen on TikTok as well. I usually try and avoid eating too many beans because it does make me a little bit gassy, TMI, but it's true. However, they are a great source of fiber and protein, and I think fiber is something that I'm really missing from my diet at the moment. I don't think I eat enough of it. Sid and I were having a conversation about this the other day, and just kind of listing out what we'd eaten in a day, and I realised that I'd literally only had 3 forms of fruit and veg, which is so bad. That's not even meeting my 5 a day. And for optimum gut health, you're supposed to be having, I think it's 30 different things in a week. So this week, I'm trying to get a lot more variety into my meals to make sure that I am getting that fiber in. So yeah, in this salad, I am putting a green and red pepper, which you've just seen me chopping up. I'm gonna put a whole punnet of cherry tomatoes, some cucumber, I've got a shallot to cut up, I've got some artichokes, some sun-dried tomatoes, and then bean-wise, I've got pinto beans and chickpeas. The one thing I've realised I don't really have is actually a dressing. So I guess I could use some of the oil from this, and then I've got olive oil, I've got vinegar. So maybe we'll be able to make something up. Oh my God, this has made such a massive salad. I also added in some mini mozzarella balls, just for something a bit interesting. So I think my plan is to probably store it in this big bowl, but then every time I want to eat it for lunch, transfer it into my normal bowl and dress this, and hopefully that will prevent the main salad from getting too soggy in the fridge, because this is definitely gonna last me a few days. Okay, let's get a bit of everything. Oh, that's actually really, really good. Good morning. It is 6:38 on Tuesday, and I've come down to Bondi Beach for sunrise. I'm shooting some videos this morning for a campaign and also for myself for some freelance advertising. Don't really know what my plan is for that, but I'm really missing some good photos and videos of myself working for my LinkedIn, my website, things like that. And I thought it'd be nice to capture it in the early morning light in Bondi. And it's looking like it's going to be a nice sunrise today. Hi.
Hey Lydia, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you doing? Yeah, sounds good. I've worked with, there's a photographer that I work with that offers a similar kind of service. They do the strategy side of the content. He does the photography. I come in, do similar like 10 reels or so, and then they do the social media management part afterwards. So I'm quite used to just sort of slotting into those processes. Because I offer all of those things like personally myself as freelance services. So the strategy, the content creation, and the management of it afterwards, but I'm also happy to just slot in where I'm needed. Hello. It is Wednesday today. It's 3:30. I have just been working all day. I've actually done nothing interesting so far or worth filming. I've just been sat doing lots of edits. I just had a call about some potential new work, which is very exciting, which is with a client I had a previous shoot with. So always nice to know that they want to work with you again. That's the thing I'm finding so far about freelancing. If anything, it's more about nurturing and making sure you do a good job with the clients that you do have than it is constantly trying to find new clients, because a lot of my work actually just comes from referrals and word of mouth. For example, I had like a whole chain of referrals happen recently where a photographer that I'd work with then referred me to a marketing agency who I then worked with, who then referred me to one of their clients. And unfortunately, I don't actually have capacity to do any content for that client. But it just shows that once you get the ball rolling with connections, you can get a whole chain reaction of work from it. And I guess that's why networking and making sure that you make a good impression in meetings and when you conduct your work is so important. Tonight for dinner, I'm making the viral sweet potato hot honey cottage cheese bowl situation. I am about 3 months late to this trend, I'm aware of that, but I'm so late because cottage cheese has genuinely been sold out in Australia for, I want to say 3 or 4 months now because of this TikTok, unless there was a shortage for other reasons, which was actually really annoying because I had cottage cheese mostly for breakfast. I used to have it with scrambled eggs. I haven't had that in a while actually because I've been doing overnight oats, actually because of the cottage cheese shortage. But I finally managed to get my hands on some, so I thought I'd try this recipe out. So you basically roast sweet potato in the oven with some taco seasoning. You then just fry off beef mince, also with taco seasoning, I'm pretty sure. Then you have it with avocado and cottage cheese and also hot honey. I had a look at hot honey in the supermarket that was pre-made. I couldn't find any for cheaper than $14. And when I looked at the ingredients, it was literally just honey, chili, and vinegar. So I was like, well, I can just make that at home. So I'm gonna attempt to make my own hot honey. I've got honey and I've got chili. I just don't have any apple cider vinegar, which is apparently what you need for it. So I'm gonna try and do it with just white wine vinegar instead, and hopefully it will have the same effect. I think it's just to loosen it up so it doesn't get super sticky. So hopefully it will taste the same at the end. A little update from what I was saying earlier on this week. I'm actually doing really well this week with eating a variety of things. I've been keeping track on my notes app of all of the different fruits, veg, nuts, seeds, beans, pulses, grains, that kind of thing that I've been eating. And I'm already up to 26, which just shows that when I put my mind to it, I can actually eat well. I think it's just when I'm not thinking about it, it's easy to not eat anything that's good for you or just eat the same thing over and over again. Whereas because I've been thinking about getting variety in, I've even been doing things like when I go to the supermarket, instead of getting 3 of the same apple, I'll get 3 different apples. And apparently different apples have slightly different nutrients or different something like that, basically. Okay, this is what we've got. We've got the beef, the sweet potato, the avocado, the cottage cheese, and then this is the hot honey mixture that I've got in here. To be honest, it smells very vinegary, so I don't know if I've put too much on, but I'll just pour this over. That's pretty good. I see the vision. I see how everything is supposed to work. And it's not too dry, which is great. If anything, I think it's a bit too sweet though. Like, I wonder how I could make this maybe without the honey, with a different sauce. Because I feel like the cottage cheese and the honey together is making it taste quite sweet. I mean, it's nice, but I don't know why this went so viral. What I'm gonna say next. I've just spent the morning working and I spent the whole day yesterday just working as well, so that's why I don't think I filmed anything. I've been having one of those kind of mundane weeks where I've just been sat on my laptop all day, pretty much working 9 to 5, which I've actually been quite enjoying because I feel like I'm getting a lot done and I'm ticking a lot off my to-do list, but it doesn't make for a very interesting vlog. I was supposed to be going to shoot with my real estate client this afternoon, but he's cancelled because he's busy, and also the weather isn't too great, and we usually oh my god, why can I not speak? And we usually shoot outside, so we've rescheduled that to next week instead. So I've technically got a free afternoon. I mean, not technically, I do still have work that I could definitely be doing, but mentally I was supposed to be on a shoot and now I'm not doing that anymore. So girl math, I've got a free afternoon now. And I was thinking, because the weather isn't too great, I might actually go shopping, because we head to Bali and then Europe in less than 3 weeks. I think it must be 2.5 weeks or something now. And there's a few things I still want to get before we go. Number one thing actually is a pair of everyday kind of walking trainers, because I always wear my New Balances, but I basically wear down the heel of every single shoe I wear, like the inside lining, because I think I must just have a really bony heel, and I literally get a hole in the exact same place of all of the backs of my trainers, and it's so big now that basically the structure of the shoe is coming through the hole, and it gives me blisters every single time I wear them. So my plan is to get some that I can do a lot of walking in Europe with, and that also look nice and look like a nice summer trainer. And then what else do I need to get? I made a little list of things that I want to buy. I want a cute shoulder bag for summer outfits that also fits my cameras and stuff in, because obviously I have my Uniqlo bag, but I feel like that's not Euro summer vibes. Like I want something that's a little bit cuter. I need to get some new flip-flops and also some new bikinis. And then I'm also on the hunt for a white skirt and some white tops, because I feel like you can never have enough white tops for summer. So yeah, let's go see if we can find those things. Can you see Cinema? You look like Batman since waiting for the haul. So that was actually quite a successful trip to the shops. I didn't get everything that I need, but we made some good progress. So from Cotton On, I got 2 bikinis. I got this one, just in your classic triangle kind of shape. But I like the bright blue, and I feel like bright blue suits me. And then I also got this one, exactly the same cut, but just in this blue stripe. These are very thick, so I don't know how they're going to hold up in the water. They're almost like a towel. It's that kind of material, so we'll have to test that out. And then also from Cotton On, I got a bag. I thought this would be a good just day bag for Europe. And it's also quite big. I mean, now that I'm looking at it next to my camera, I don't know if it's going to fit my camera lengthwise with the tripod, but I also liked that it had this and then a zip. Wow. Feel nice and secure.
Yeah, for all those pickpockets.
No pickpockets getting in here.
Pickpockets! Did you buy walking shoes from Bellini?
No, these aren't walking shoes. These are actually quite the opposite of walking shoes. So I actually think I won't be able to walk in these shoes. Okay, so next from Bellini, my sister got me a pair of shoes from Bellini for my birthday, but unfortunately they don't fit because she didn't realise that Australian and UK shoe sizes are not the same. So she got me an Australian 6 because I'm a UK 6. Whereas I actually I'm more of an Australian 7, which now I say it out loud, I'm not sure why, but I went in to exchange them and they didn't actually have the ones that she originally bought me, and we couldn't order them online because she'd ordered them online. I don't know, there was a lot of...
Open the box!
There was a lot of confusion over the situation, so I got a different pair. Some would call this walking shoes. I probably wouldn't go hiking in these personally. They are these gold pair of heeled flip-flops. I know they look kind of tacky at first because you're seeing a lot of gold, but you've got to imagine that when you have these on, obviously my foot is covering all of this gold part, so all you're actually seeing is the gold crisscross flip-flop part and the gold heel, and I just thought these screamed Euro summer. I thought they'd be a very nice evening shoe if we're ever going anywhere a little bit fancy or I want to dress up, and I'm a gold girly, so I feel like they match all my accessories. And Bellini was also having a 20% off sale or 25% off sale, which was adding to the confusion of doing an exchange as well. So I ended up also paying $5 basically for these earrings because otherwise they couldn't refund the credit or something. I don't know, it was a very confusing exchange in there, but I've ended up with some nice starfish earrings. So thank you, Emma, and David for the belated birthday present. But I hope you're getting the vision of where I'm going with this. The gold, the brown, the bright blues. I'm getting very excited about these outfits. So we move out of our apartment in just over 2 weeks. When we go to Europe, we're also fully moving out of this place. And something that's been on my to-do list for a while is to sort out my wardrobes. This is my part basically of the wardrobe. This bit and this bit. Sid does have a few drawers here, but this is mostly his stuff in this one. So I have essentially 2/3 of the wardrobe space, and we've been super lucky in this apartment to have so much space, but it also means that I've kind of just been accumulating things over the last year with no consequence because I've had so much space to store them. But obviously I'm not going to take all of this with me in my suitcase back to Europe. I think we're actually going to put most of our stuff into storage, but before we do that, I thought this would be a good opportunity to actually sort through everything that I have, because I definitely don't wear everything in this wardrobe. For example, I have so many pairs of shoes that I just don't really wear. I bought these, for example, when I thought I was gonna be in the office a lot, and then I wasn't. These are definitely gonna go up on Depop. They're actually a really nice quality pair of Whitner loafers, so hopefully these will go to a good home. I've got a pair of heeled boots up here that I have worn more than the loafers actually, but I don't wear often enough to justify keeping, especially now that I'm not in an office. So they're gonna go up on Depop. I've got another pair of shoes somewhere that I wanna put on. Oh yeah, I've got these Adidas Gazelles that I just never reach for, so I'm gonna put these on Depop as well because I've literally just bought a new pair of trainers as well. So yeah, that is my job for this afternoon, to get the ball rolling with sourcing out all of this.